small audience in person, but I'm sure virtually we have a pretty good size audience. And I'd like to thank teacher Ms. Jessica Hathaway for helping us each board meeting with this. And tonight the students are Mason LaPana, Serena Maple, and Ashton Nesselrode. So thank you, kids, for coming and doing this. Okay, we stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
roll call.
Mr. Collins. Mr. Farrakhan.
Here.
Mr. Gannison.
Here.
Dr. Kraus.
Here.
Mr. Meh.
Here.
Mr. Pratt.
Here.
Mrs. Wojtek. Here. Mrs. Wade. Here. Mr. Martin.
Here.
All present.
Thank you. We'll now observe a moment of silent meditation, please. Thank you. I need a motion to approve the minutes of regular board meeting dated January 19th, 2023.
So moved.
Mr. May, second that motion.
Second.
Mrs. Wojtek, any discussion on it? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Any unfinished business? I need a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Mr. Kraus, second please. Mr. Gamsey. Any discussion on this motion? If none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Remarks and visitors. Do we have any visitors talking tonight?
John Owens.
You can come up to the podium, please. Please say your name, your address, and
My home address?
your home address.
Okay.
You have to be a member of the school district, I'm sure you are.
Yes, I am.
And we'll keep it brief,
Yes.
about 3 minutes to 5 minutes.
My name is John Owens. My address is 1539 Lower New Germany Road. Oh, no, that's my parents. My address is 1985 Route 21. What is it called? The East Roy Furman Highway, Carmichael's, PA. I'm sorry I don't use my mail a lot. The reason I'm speaking today, I started a small business 3 years ago, and I spoke to an educator over the summer, last summer, and she said one thing that I needed and that my daughter needed was me. But I also noticed that there's a lot of children in this school that don't have parents like me. And I also know that from example, there's a lot of children that don't have parents like me. So what me and my daughter decided to do over the past 3 years is several different things. I've been working with restaurants in the area, and I've become a large supplier of one restaurant already. What we're trying to do is build a network of foods for the school to bring in a variety of foods to the children. Not just children that don't have food, but children that like variety. My daughter, she eats everything plain. So it's pretty hard. It's like running a restaurant in my home. Another thing we focused on, she wants to set up a pet shop, lemonade stand, online gaming. There's a lot of games now where you can actually create an income. And so we got into this as well. And another thing I've recently started on was building an IoT network. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's Internet of Things. So what this network does is the main board will be at my home. It's a server. And I live within 2 miles of here, but it serves a 10-mile radius. So that if a child comes in here with a pacemaker, a smart pacemaker, my servers will supply that pacemaker with energy. If you get EV cars here for, driver's ed, I can supply energy. I can supply energy to the school for the computers. I actually believe the Chromebooks are not a good idea. I go with Apple. It's more of a closed interface. But that's about the gist of what we're doing right now. I'm right now butting heads with DoorDash to work with senior helpers and supply food as well throughout Greene County. I live on a small 2-acre land, but we're doing a lot. We're trying to do a lot here. Now, over the time, with everything that I'm doing, with all my networks over the next 9 years. And after taxes, I think my business will occur about $250 million. So we plan on splitting that up between the restaurants we're working with and the school. And so we believe by the time Adelaide graduates high school that we'll be able to award the school $50 million. Because I know I sit here a lot of times and it's always about a budget, and we'd like to help bridge that gap.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck. Good luck to you.
That is impressive. I think you would have to touch base with our superintendent and our solicitors on the legality of all this.
Yes.
And,
Everything I'm doing is legal. So yeah, don't worry about that.
well, we have a public school and, you know,
gotta check it.
providing
Yeah.
things, so I think, you know,
Yeah.
moving forward, we should
Yes.
talk to Mr. Moorcraft.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions for me?
Could I also, Mr. Rounds, we can sit down and have a meeting too at the elementary as well? I
Yes.
think that'd be a great place to make well goal.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Would anybody else like to say anything? Okay, moving on. Administrative reports. Mr. Moorcraft.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Greene County Superintendent's had the wonderful opportunity to meet with Senator Bartolotta and Representative Cook, who's new to our area, along with the county commissioners and other leadership in Greene County. One of the things we want to discuss was funding for our school, funding for our CTC kids. There are some channels of funding that aren't getting our way. In Greene County isn't being represented fairly, where a lot of the money's going to Allegheny and Washington County. So it was really good to have that meeting with them. Not only to tell them about our issues and our worries and the funding that we need desperately in our districts, but also, especially for Representative Cook, to get to know us a little more. He really hasn't been in our schools and in our district, new to this county. So it was a good opportunity to get to meet him and see him and brainstorm ways that we can boost population. We're losing population at an alarming rate. The bad side of that is without population, we can't bring business in, and without business, they don't want to come in without population. So trying to figure out some of those things to where we can keep people in our county. The commissioners are working hard as well to try to keep people in our county. We want to put this out to our students as well for some grand challenges for them to start thinking of ways that we can do that, because we say every year our best and brightest leave Greene County and never come back just because there aren't jobs here for them. But in this day and age, the proximity of Morgantown, the proximity of Washington, Pittsburgh, I think we have a really good district. We've been trying to brand our district in that way so that people moving to the county want to come to Carmichael's. And I think with the things that we're doing, we are leading the way, and people are starting to take notice of that. With that, we have multiple schools coming in week after week. Trinity's doing amazing things in Washington County, but Trinity was actually here to see our space that we have here, because it's something they want to emulate at their school. So we've had California come in to see this space and to see some of the things we're doing. So the name Carmichael's is out there. I do want you to know that as a board and the public and the people watching to know the Carmichael's name is out there, and we want to be leaders in education, and we want to be leaders in bringing people to the county. So all that was conveyed in that meeting with our legislators. So it was, again, a great opportunity to have that conversation with them. Also, we're back to our leadership team meetings. We got away with that with COVID. We talked in that meeting, like the fear of getting together, because we didn't know who would get sick and who would lead the district if all of us were sick. So we are getting back to our big leadership meetings. We have been meeting with our building reps and that, but we're working now again on the new 5-year vision. It's crazy to think that I'm 5 years into this position where we did our comp plan looking at that, and now we're looking at the future, the next 5 years. So we're starting to put some of those ideas together on what we want to do and what we want to see. Speaking of comp plan, it was pushed back to October 31st. It was due in March. The state did push that back for us. So we have some extra time, which is great, because typically, I hate to say this, but typically comp plans get put together and they sit on a shelf for 5 years, and we blow the dust off and we get it out and we do another one for the next 5 years. This comp plan I don't want to. Last comp plan wasn't like that. The stuff that we're doing as far as career pathways of that was part of our comp plan, and being more career-minded and giving kids more genuine experiences. So our comp plan didn't do that. We used our comp plan. We succeeded a lot of things. A couple things we need to work on, and COVID put a stop to a few of those. But we are going to use this extra time to meet with our community again and talk about what we can do to push that comp plan forward. Last thing I would like to mention, I want to take a moment to recognize the memories of a former Carmichael's Area School Board member, Melody Berardi. Mel, she always put students first. She was so proud of the accomplishments of this district, and speaking on behalf of our schools, I do want to offer her family our thoughts and our prayers. She will certainly be missed by all of us here. That concludes my report.
Any questions for Mr. Moorcraft?
I got a comment if I could.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Since Mr. Franks isn't here tonight, maybe I bring this up at this time. You know my grandsons play basketball. We go to different gyms around the place and so forth. But I just want to make the statement that our facility inside is up there at the top. That's all I'm going to say. They keep it very nice compared to the other schools that we visited during basketball. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
We did have one graduate come back, Mr. Moorcraft. Any other
We're
questions?
glad to have, we want young people in the district here. It's job security, so no pressure.
Thank you, Mr. Moorcraft. Elementary principal, Mr. Barrett.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Martin. Two big things I do want to talk about, and these are things that will be kind of coming up in the future, but I did want to bring everyone's attention to it. On Thursday, March 30th, starting at 1:30 in the afternoon, we're going to hold our annual 5th grade Future Chef competition. I know we've had some individuals come and be part of that, so it was a wonderful activity. On this date are 3 finalists, and you see them down at the bottom. It's Charlie Pedro, Jackson Smith, and Kenny Perkins. They are going to prepare their dishes, and their dishes are actually going to be served as sides in conjunction with a glazed ham entree for all students in the elementary center. They actually become part of the lunch that day. After that, getting around about 1:45, they then present their dishes to the judges. And we have 3 judges this year. Chef Dan Wagner, who we all know is a culinary arts instructor at the Greene County CTC. We have Emma Larson, who's a Cornerstone Care and Catch representative. And we have Beth Coxis, who is from the Pittsburgh Food Bank. They'll ultimately end up choosing a winner for the competition, and the prizes are pretty fantastic. I think it was either an iPad for our last one, or it was a gigantic basket of all sorts of cooking materials, which is really cool. I just want to say that we're really proud of our finalists, as well as all the students who entered this competition, because it's just not 3 who entered. It's actually, I think there was a number that, maybe 10 to 15 that entered, and those are kind of whittled down to your final 3. And I also wanted to extend an invitation to all of you to come and be part of that fantastic event. The 3 entrees are going to be, Charlie Pedro is going to be Charlie's Cheesy Potatoes, Jaxie Smith is going to do Jaxie's Easter Bunny Fruit Tray, and Kenny Perkins is going to do Kenny's Sweet Potato Streusel. So please, if you guys are available that day, we'd love to have you there. The other big event that I do want to talk about goes from February 27th through March 3rd, end of this month. Our elementary center will be participating in 27th through March 3rd, end of this month. Our elementary center will be participating in our Read Across America Week, as we have done in the past. This time our emphasis or theme is Reading Through the USA, and that goes along with some of the information in your packet as well. We're going to participate in a number of really good, fun, engaging activities for kids. We are having a transportation day with numerous vehicles coming to the elementary center, very similar to a touch truck. We are currently working on a postcard collection activity with postcards coming in from all across the country. Right now we have 31 of the 50 states, and we actually have Germany, and I want to say Denmark.
Norway.
Or Norway, there we go. So we're getting from all over the place, which is fantastic. And last but not least, we have a concluding day in which we have numerous guest speakers coming in to read for all of our students. And I do want to kind of make a plug, and this was a really cool, Mrs. Farrick was working with some representatives, and we have Erica Stanish from KDKA. She's a news reporter. She's actually coming in that day to read to our kids, which is going to be really cool. I'd also like to take a moment, and I'd like to thank Brenda Farrick, Maddie Loring, and Aaron Stickles for all their efforts to make this week a success and memorable for our students. Observations completed 24 right now, and that concludes my report.
Any questions for Mr. Barrett? Very good. I highly recommend going to the chef competition. I was there last year.
It's amazing what they put on. They are fantastic.
I'll be there.
Don't miss a free meal.
Never miss a free meal. Okay. Thank you. Middle school principal. Mr. Cole.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. The first thing I'd like to say is I want to congratulate 3 of our middle school students for placing in our local spelling bee that was held last month. Lily Piper ended up winning first place. Caitlin Kramer was second, and Kinley Udovich for third place. Lily will actually take her online exam tomorrow during class to see if she'll qualify to go on to the next level at Robert Morris. So we wish her a lot of luck tomorrow as she takes that exam. I was very proud of our whole student body for that. We had 30 individual contestants in that. That was streamed live. It took a lot of courage for those students to get up and attempt that. You know, it was a proud moment for our English department as well. I thought that went very well, so I am proud of those students. The next thing I would like to speak on is the letter C. That is the Pennsylvania Association for Middle School Level Education, the Don Eichhorn Schools to Watch Award. We've talked about that at length. I talked to Mr. Bruce Volsberg today, and we have set that application up. In that interview, they're going to come in with 5 or 6 individuals and kind of assess our school on what we need to do to possibly obtain that award. And we might actually end up attaining it without doing anything. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing for March and April. We have also set our PVOS dates for April 18th, 19th, 20th, 24th through the 27th. Some things that we're going to try to do next month. Tim Hartman, a professional actor, he's been on Broadway for A Tale of Two Cities. He's going to come and speak to our whole middle school. He is going to give a presentation called Goaltending, and it's basically providing information on middle schoolers on how to find direction and what they want to do and how to go after that. He is a professional actor. Very excited to have him come in and speak to our middle school, just a different perspective in the liberal arts category. Some other stuff that we're, you know, we've been trying to kick off here in the middle school. I've talked to at length with Mr. Gansey about our attendance. Our attendance right now is hovering around 90% in the middle school. We really need to get that up to around 93 to 95%. We kicked off some PBIS incentives for 7th grade. That went well this month. We only had about 6 or 7 students not qualify. And again, that's tied to attendance, academics, and discipline. So if you qualify for that, we try to do something nice for the students. We're trying to do that across the board at the middle school. I have completed 11 formal observations, 30 walkthroughs. The discipline data is on the second page if you guys would like to see that. And with that, Mr. Martin, that concludes my report.
Could I make one comment?
Yes, you may.
Whenever I was down at Bogtown there, elementary principal, we had the awards like I talked to you about, but we had a bicycle, and you just set it there for the whole year. At the end of the year, you pull a name.
Sure.
That draws a lot of attendance. Just an idea.
Thank
Just an
you.
idea. Thank
Any
you.
other comments or questions for Mr. Poland? Thank you, Mr. Poland. Senior high, Mrs. Director.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. I'd like to also congratulate our boys and girls basketball team for making the playoffs. The boys are currently playing at halftime. It's not in our favor, but I'm sure they'll come back. And girls play tomorrow night. We did have a pep rally on February 14th for them to recognize them for their success. We spent some time, our teaching staff spent some time with Dave Dunham from the IU looking at our career curriculum this past month. Part of that was looking at the state standards and what we're doing in grades 9 through 11 to meet those standards. And some of the stuff that we are currently doing is what we were doing as a senior project. So we're looking at reconstructing what our senior project is, tweaking it a little bit, because the state requires all students to do a lot of that by 11th grade. So it's been a great conversation. There's great things happening in those classrooms. And we're working on a document that I will share with you guys that show those specific standards and the specific accomplishments that the students will have before they graduate high school. The other thing I'd like to mention is I would like to thank Mrs. Hudock and her special ed teaching staff. They had their district-wide special ed audit. I know there was many hours involved in the prep for that. And also to thank our entire teaching staff because there were many teachers that had to answer questions from the state and be involved in that process. So I'd like to thank them all for being a part of that. And I'd also like to mention the student council did a great job of organizing a laser tag competition in our high school gym. It was a great event, and I know everyone who attended had a great time. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Beck. Any questions or comments? I have one observation.
Yes.
We have 14 students in cyber school and senior high. Is that
Yep.
high or is that about normal?
So it's less than it has been for the pandemic. It did go up a little bit. There's a couple serious medical things, and some of them are doing it to work, if I'm being real transparent. I think some families need some support, so that gives them a little bit more flexibility with their work schedule. But it's went up by about probably 5 in the past month. Mhm.
Anyone else? Technology, Mr. Talent.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. As we talked about in the work session, just an E-rate infrastructure update. Had a mandatory walkthrough on January the 26th, had 2 vendors participate, Communications Consulting Inc. and Connectivity Communications Inc. They're both called CCI, not to confuse anyone. The vendor Q&A was completed on February the 8th, and as stated earlier, the bids are to be received March 9th at 10 a.m., at which point the next day we'll open them and fill everyone in on what we got. The couple things on the agenda for tonight's proposal. First off is the gymnasium public address system. RPC Video was the leading candidate. They were also a more expensive candidate. However, as I said in the past, you get what you pay for. I was able to go back to the gentleman, Steve Obenrader from RPC, and express my concerns and the board's concerns over being fiscally responsible with the sound system. He was able to shave a little bit off of the budget that was in your agendas. That was given to you tonight by myself. We were able to get some additional equipment and keep the bottom line number the same. Now, if instructed, we could cut that equipment and save a couple thousand from the original proposal, or we could move with this proposal as is. It is entirely up to the board's purpose whether or not we go with this or not, but I thought I'd do my due diligence and present it and allow you to vote on it. I am confident that this is the best system money can buy, and I think it really will be an improvement over the system that is in desperate need of replacement. Moving to the broadcasting equipment, we've had a couple snags this evening already with our live stream. I apologize for that. We are looking at purchasing new equipment to upgrade and to renovate that system as well. Speaking with Ms. Hathaway and her broadcasting team, they decided I just want to support her. I'm in favor of whatever is the best. Had a local university doctor also providing some support and some guidance on what system he would recommend. We decided to go with the new tech TriCaster equipment. It's a little more cost effective than some of the other competitive equipments out there. It's a little more similar to the system that is 9 years old that we are replacing, and we felt that might be the right move for the district. So that was the quote that's presented for this evening.
And can I just
yeah,
chime in?
sure.
And we did talk with, part of this is Mrs. Hathaway is teaching this is the equipment that she feels comfortable with. And that's the thing is, we want to do something that, makes her job easier as well. So that was part of the conversation as well, was not only with Travis and I, but with her as well, just to find something that her and the kids are comfortable with. So.
Last 2 things real quick, upcoming considerations. Our middle school, senior high bell system, during renovations, that system wasn't updated. We're still using the old amplifiers that were in the building. I couldn't tell you how long. They're definitely older than I am. And they're starting to show signs of failure. We're having a weird delay system where the bells will ring in the hallway a fraction of a second before they ring in the teachers' classrooms. We're having to reboot the systems multiple times a day, and the minute you start hard rebooting stuff of that nature, it's a telltale sign that it's going to fail imminently. So haven't even delved into what a new system would cost, what we can salvage from our current system. I'm assuming our overhead speakers are probably sufficient and fine, and we might be able to just get amplifiers and controllers and save some costs there. So I will dig further into that and have you hard numbers for next report or next meeting. And then last thing, Sophus renewal and upgrade. Working with Kristen from our E-rate consultant, we can also renew our firewall with that process. So I'm getting some pricing on the renewal as well as pricing on a whole new system. So I'm going to weigh the options between what's more cost effective and how long our current system is slated to last. Unfortunately, those systems, they do have a lifespan of about 5 years. We're 3 years into this one. So it's, do we limp along for 2 more years, or do we look at maybe a new system in the future? So when I have numbers, I will report those and go from there. Concludes my report.
Thank you. Any questions, Mr. Talent? Student representative?
Not tonight.
Nothing? Committee reports, Mrs. Wojtek.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Sublist addendum, Secretary. Motion to approve the substitute list addendum as presented.
Motion on the floor, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Mayor, any discussion on the motion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
School calendar 2023-24. Motion to approve the 2023-24 school calendar as presented.
Motion on the floor, second please.
Second.
Mr. Pratt, any discussion on the motion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
Meadows Psychiatric Center Agreement. Motion to approve the agreement with the Meadows Psychiatric Center as presented.
Motion on the floor, is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Mrs. Wade, any discussion on the motion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
Travel, Mrs. Holloway. Motion to approve the request of Mrs. Holloway to attend the Business Managers Seminar in Poconos, PA on March 14th through the 17th, 2023.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Mr. Gaines, any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
Travel, Mr. Moorcraft and Mrs. Moorcraft. Not,
Not my missus.
not Mrs., another Mrs. Motion to approve the request of Mr. Fred Moorcraft and Nicole Moorcraft to attend the PEF Follow-Up Summer Institute in Chattanooga, Tennessee on March 19th through the 21st, 2023.
Motion on the floor, is there a second to this motion?
I'll second.
Mrs. Wade, any discussion on the motion?
Just so you know, this trip was canceled. It was supposed to be in the fall, was
Right.
canceled. It's moved to this time, and it's no cost to the district as well.
All in favor of this motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This motion is carried.
Travel, Mr. Moorcraft. Motion to approve the request of Mr. Fred Moorcraft to attend the PARSS Conference in State College, PA on April 26th through 28th, 2023.
Motion on the floor, is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Mr. Pratt, any discussion on the motion? You have anything to say about this?
Yeah, it's this is the Pennsylvania Rural Schools Conference. This PARS was actually a big player in the fair funding lawsuit that just happened that they won. So there's still a lot of information coming out about that fair funding lawsuit. But as far as rural schools, this is the best conference to go to represent rural schools and to get information about funding moving forward for schools of our size. So it's a really good conference to go to.
Motion and second, any more discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
Substitute support staff rate. Motion to raise the rate of substitute support staff to $13 per hour effective immediately.
Motion on the floor, is there a second to this?
Second.
Correct. Any discussion on the motion? I'd just like to say publicly, we're trying to raise the price for the staff support rate to get people. We're having a hard time finding people, so that's why we raised this rate, $13. So,
And our secretary rate had not been raised for 17 years.
yes, it was low. There's a motion second. Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Sound system for high school gym. Motion to approve the purchase of equipment for the sound system for the high school gym based on the price provided by RPC Video. Quote dated February 4th, 2023 as presented.
Second.
Motion on the floor, second by Mr. Rouse. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
Broadcast equipment. Motion to approve the purchase of broadcast equipment based on the price provided by CDW. Quote dated February 9th, 2023 as presented.
Second.
Motion on the floor, second by Mr. Kraus. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion is carried.
Notification of FMLA approved for 1 middle school staff member and 1 senior high staff member. No action necessary. Comp plan submission pushed back to October 31st, 2023. No action necessary. And that concludes my report, Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Mrs. Wojtek. Budget and Finance, Mr. Kraus.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Motion to approve the 2023-24 IU budget in the amount of $549,552 and the district share of $6,203.93 as presented.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second to this motion? Second. Mr. Gansey, any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
And item number 2, Teacher Appreciation Week, May of 2023. Motion to provide a luncheon prepared by the cafeteria and a memento with cost not to exceed $20 per staff member during Teacher Appreciation Week, May 2023.
Motion on the floor. Second. Mr.
Second.
Gansey?
Yep.
Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
That concludes my report.
Thank you. Mr. Gansey?
Thank you, Mr. President. Number 1, field trips. Motion to approve the request for field trip item A below as presented. Helping House, Suburban Lanes, Morgantown, April 17th, 2023.
Motion on the floor. Is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Mr. Wojtek? Any discussion?
Just so the public knows, this is no cost to the district. Shell Pro has covered the cost
I
for
was
that.
going to say that. You took it from me.
Okay,
That's
sorry.
Sure, thank you.
And I also like to give a shout out to teachers that do these after-school which is very nice.
There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried.
Number 2, resignation Ryan Cruel, Assistant Athletic Director. Motion to accept the resignation from Ryan Cruel as Assistant Athletic Director as presented.
Motion on the floor. Is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Mr. May, any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
Number 3, head coach middle school girls softball, Jay Walker. Motion to offer the head coach middle school girls softball position to Joanna Walker with salary and terms per the professional contract effective the 2022-23 season.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Mrs. Wade, any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Number 4, head varsity football coach Ryan Cruel. Motion to offer the head varsity football coach to Ryan Cruel with salary and terms per the professional contract.
Motion on the floor. Is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Mr. May, any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Number 5, elementary basketball coordinator. Motion to offer the elementary basketball coordinator position to Ryan Cruel with salary and terms per the professional contract.
Motion on the floor. Is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Mrs. Wade, any discussion? Is this a prorated?
No,
salary? No?
he will cover the requirements for this year. It'll start later, but it'll still cover.
Okay, I didn't know that. Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed?
Okay.
Motion's carried.
Okay. Motion to offer the assistant athletic director position to Dawn Ward Malik as presented.
Motion on the floor. Second to this motion. Mr. Crowe. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried.
And number 7 has been deleted. Number 8, assistant varsity baseball coach, booster funded. Motion to approve Ron Nopowski as assistant varsity baseball coach funded by the boosters effective the 22-23 season.
Motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Pratt. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you.
Completes my
Mr.
report,
Gadsden.
Mr. President. Thank you.
Transportation, Building and Grounds, Mr. Ferry.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Motion to approve the request for facilities, items A and B below as presented. I apologize for messing up this name. Calavoda Dance Recital in the auditorium, June 14th, 15th, and 16th, 2023. And Community Easter egg hunt on the football field, April 4th, 2023.
Motion on the floor, second to the motion.
Second.
Mrs. Wojtek, any discussion? I'd just like to say the community Easter egg hunt is the sophomore and junior class?
Correct.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, they're sponsors and the kids will have it for those younger kids.
okay, that's good.
And they do that after school, so,
It's on the weekend.
oh, it's on the weekend.
Yes, sir.
Very good. I remember seeing it.
Yeah.
Any other discussion?
And just so the public knows, all of our clubs have a community service component, and they've all been doing a fantastic job, just providing to the kids in our community. So I do appreciate all the extracurriculars that they're doing these services for our community.
Motion and second, any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Business manager.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Bills for payment. Motion to approve the bills for payment in the amount of $1,930,000, let me start over because there's an extra period in there. $1,930,409.55 as presented.
Very good. I'll second.
Motion on the floor. I need a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Kraus, second by Mr. Hanson. Any discussion on this? Roll call, please.
Mr. Commons?
Yes.
Mr. Farrick?
Mr. Striker will abstain. I'm an employee of one of the vendors.
Thank you. Mr. Ganesey?
Yes.
Dr. Kraus?
Yes.
Mr. May?
Yes.
Mr. Pratt?
Yes.
Mrs. Wojtek?
Yes.
Mrs. Wade?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
8 yeses, 1 abstention, motion passes. Secretary Treasurer Financial Reports. Motion to approve the Secretary, Treasurer, and other financial reports as presented.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Kraus,
Second.
Mrs. Wojtek, discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you. Mrs. Allred. Federal program, Mr. Barry.
Yes, Mr. Martin. One thing I did want to add, just coming up, we are going to do our parent-teacher workshop, which takes place March 15th at Lakeside, and that's through all of the counties of Greene and Fayette. So just want to give everybody a heads up on that. It's a whole entire day, and our focus is going to be on early childhood education and all of those kind of components. We're going to have actually 6 different speakers on that. So just wanted to share that as an information. And that concludes my report.
Any questions, comments for Mr. Barry? Thank you. Legislative, is there anything, Mrs. Wood? Thank you. Public relations, nothing. Comprehensive plan representative, Mr. Corman, do you have anything?
I'd just like to bring up that Mr. Warcraft already told us about the comprehensive plan. There are 2 links on there for individuals that might want to look at it on the district website. Maybe Mr. Warcraft might want to speak to that.
Yeah, our comp plan, if you want to look at the current comprehensive plan we have, it is on our district website, so you can click on that, look at the whole document. Again, that'll be changing soon. Once we get this new comp plan together, it'll be cover us for the next 3 to 5 years with different components of it. So, but it is on our website if you'd like to take a look at it.
Anything else, Mr. Corman?
No.
Okay, thank you. I hope you feel better.
Thank you.
GCC and TC rep, Mr. May.
I was passing some information, trying to get it around quickly. They're trying to, they're having an open house on Thursday, just making sure that they can get in the building. Okay. So it is coming forward. They've done some remodeling. They're putting in, one of the things is like fire alarms and so forth. They've got to coordinate it back and forth. So it looks like it's going to be delayed a little bit, but
That's a fantastic building. We took that tour. That's
it's a
great.
great building. It's probably going to cost us a little bit more money. We might not get as much back on reimbursements as we have in the past, but Mr. Krupa is very good about getting ready, and hopefully he'll be able to cover a lot of those costs from donations and other solutions. We're excited about it.
Yeah.
Like I say, those guys that were there that night, that building's fantastic.
It is.
What a gift.
I'd like to see appliance repair or something.
I did mention it.
Yeah.
I did mention
You can't
it.
find anybody.
I knew it.
That's what they want you to do. Anybody else? Anybody else before we adjourn for good of Carmichael's Area High School? Nothing? I entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved. Mr. Farrick, second. Mr. Cross. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carried. Thank you very much.
I'll let you know. Yep.